folks, Joseph Kursky here. Let's start a new map template project in ArcGIS Pro from Esri. Name it appropriately, as I'm always saying. Place it in an appropriate folder. Make life easier on yourself. Don't make it overly complicated, and don't call it Friday afternoon project.3 p.m. We're creating a project and we're going to load a CSV and work with it. So I've got a map template right here in ArcGIS Pro. I can view different pane sets, P-A-N-E, not P-A-I-N. Haha, sometimes GIS gets painful, but here it's pane, P-A-N-E. Let's view the catalog pane. I have a CSV file that is on my device. I also have just created a project called Wind Turbines, and it's a GDB. When I create a project, it automatically starts a geodatabase. So I'm going to import a table now. The table is from an Excel file that I've saved in comma separated value format, CSV. So I'm going to go ahead and, again, be organized about where your data is located. Sometimes data is online, sometimes it's local, sometimes it's on a shared drive. Here's my CSV table. I'm going to run the Table to Geodatabase tool. Now my table is inside my geodatabase, so that's step one. But step two, I still need to map it. How do I map it? Well, one way is to do the following. Table to geodatabase. Okay, I've done that, but now XY table to point. I've got the table in my geodatabase, but it's not a point feature class yet, so I need to, it's just a CSV stored in my GDB. But now when I run XY table to point with my latitude and longitude values or fields correctly identified, now I've got it in my map as something I can actually map. So now if I select by attributes, again, know your data, know your field names, and I've identified that there is a field name called something like T-state. It's the state name. So I'm selecting on that field. And now I have the New Mexico wind turbines. Now here you've got some choices. Do you save the selection as a separate layer? Do you export it as a separate feature class? Do you just copy it, or do you just use it as a selection? Those are all decisions that you need to make. And they all have their advantages and disadvantages. So now I'm symbolizing just my New Mexico selected features. I didn't save it as a separate layer right here. I'm just using it as a selected set. And I'm selecting the state name is New Mexico. Now if I map that on, let's say, graduated symbols on the T capacity, that's the capacity of these wind turbines, and I'm selecting from a wide variety of symbols at my fingertips. You can also import your own symbols, you can customize symbols, you can add symbols from galleries and styles. Lots of choices here. But I've noted I don't really like this one so much. I can add some effects to this sort of fuzzy wind turbine. I'm not really wild about that. Now, there's lots of guidelines and very few rules in cartography and GIS. Some might argue with that statement, but if it works for you, if it helps you understand the issue, the problem you're trying to solve, great, use it. Use it as a symbol. Now, I notice here in my table, again, know your data, that I can zoom to different locations here. I've got one off of, looks like Puerto Rico, maybe. I'm not quite sure why that's sitting there in that data set. So some cleanup is sometimes required, oftentimes required. All right, so let's set that aside for the moment. But again, know that all of that data, make sure that that data is sitting in the location that you think it should be. And I noticed that there's a lot of wind turbines, as you can see right here, that have no T capacity. So what do? Do I symbolize them separately? Do I discard them? Do I add the capacity? Lots of decisions that need to be made at this point. But now I've got the data in a format and in a manner in which I can use it in my geographic information system, in this case in ArcGIS Pro. Thanks for being with me. I hope that was very helpful.